Welcome to e-lesson on final control elements, pressure to current converter, current to pressure converter, pneumatic actuator, electro-pneumatic actuator, presented by B. Venkateshwarlu, senior lecturer. Final control element, upon completion of this topic, you would be able to know the principle of final control element, applications of final control element. The basic principle of final control element is final control element operations involve the steps necessary to convert a control signal generated by the process controller into proportional action on the process itself. So, final control element operations involve the steps necessary to convert the control signal which is generated by the process controller into proportional action on the process itself. The process control output signals are usually in one of the three forms: electrical signals 4 to 20 milliamps, pneumatic signal 3 to 15 psi. PSI means pounds per square inches. Pneumatic signal means dry air signal is a pneumatic signal. The standard signal industry and process industry is 3 to 15 psi, pounds per square inches. Digital signals usually transistor logic level voltages. So logic 1 and logic 0 levels. By using the above signals, the final control element control the process. The elements of final control operation you can see in the slide. The black diagram, which is consists of signal conversion, actuator, final control element, and process. The first, the control signal generated by the controller or process controller is given to the signal conversion system. The signal conversion system, which convert the control signal into useful signal to work out on the actuator. Actuator is a final control element. Actuator and final control element are part of the final control element. Actuator is a device which convert this control signal into action on the final control element. The final control element here is the valve. The valve opening or closing the pipeline where the controlling variable entering into the or manipulated variable entering into the process system. Process control application, the conversion of a process control signal to a control function can be represented by the elements of final control operation as shown in the figure. Description of each signal, control signal. The input control signal may be take many forms such as an electric current, pneumatic pressure, digital signal. Signal conversions. The block refers to the modifications that must be made to the control signal to properly interface with the next stage of the control, that is actuator. Thus, if valve control element is to be operated by electric motor actuator, then a 4 to 20 milliamps for to 20 milliamps DC control signal must be modified to operate the motor. If DC motor is used, modifications might be current to voltage conversion and amplification. Signal conversions are often called transducers because they convert control signals from one form to other, such as. So here the signal conversions are often called transducers because they convert control signals from one form to other, such as current to pressure, current to voltage, analog to digital. So the current signal conversions are current to pressure, current to voltage, analog to digital. Actuator, the third block, which is the actuator. The actuator is a translation of converted control signal into the action on the control element. The actuator is a translation of converted control signal into the action on the control element. Thus, if a valve is to be operated, then the actuator is a device that converts the control signal into the physical action of opening or closing the valve. The final control element, this device has a direct influence on the process dynamic variable and is designed as an integral part of the process. So final control element, this device has a direct influence on the process dynamic variable and designed as an integral part of the process. Thus, if flow is to be controlled, then control element, a valve must be built directly into the flow system. If the temperature is to be controlled, then some control element that has a direct influence on the temperature must be involved in the process. Final control element. This would be a heater or cooler combination that is electrically actuated by relays or pneumatic valve to control influx of reactants. So final control element, this could be a heater or maybe a cooler combination that is electrically actuated by relays or a pneumatic valve to control influx of reactants. Applications of final control element: to regulate the flow rate in a fluid delivery system, to control the degree of backing of crackers in cracking system, to maintain the level, temperature, etc. in process synthesis. The applications of final control element here: to regulate the flow rate in a fluid delivery system, to control the degree of backing of crackers in cracking system, to maintain a level, temperature, etc. in process industries. Summary: we have discussed about final control element. Is what kind of signals are normally used to transmit process signals? Pneumatic and radio. B. Electronic and manual. C. Electronic and radio. D. Pneumatic and electronic. The answer is D is correct. Pneumatic and electronic signals. Please, second question. The process controller output signals are usually in the form of electrical signal, pneumatic signal, digital signal. D. All of the above. The answer is D. All the above. The frequently asked question from this topic: explain final control elements with block diagram. mention applications of final control element. Next topic is pneumatic to current converter. So on the completion of the period, you would be able to know need for electronic to pneumatic and pneumatic to electronic converter. Principle of pressure to current converter. Need E2P and P2E converters. Signal conversions are often called transducers because they convert control signals from one form to other, such as electrical to pressure to electrical signal. So electrical to pressure or pneumatic signal, pressure to electrical or pneumatic to current signal. The electrical signal in the form of current signals need for a current to pressure converter. The P2I converter is used where pneumatic signals must be converted to electronic signals for any one of the following reasons. So in order to transmission over the large distances, pneumatic to current converter is used whenever the pneumatic signals must be converted into electronic signal for any one of the following reasons. Transmission over the large distances. Input to an electronic data laggers or computer. Input to telemeter equipment. So for transmission over the large distances, input to electronic data laggers or computers, input to telemeter equipment, you need P2I conversion. Instrument here not available at the receiver controller. When you want to use a low level electric current signal to do work, it is much easier to let the work to be done by a pneumatic signal. So when you need a current to pressure converter, when you want to use low level electronic or electrical current signal to do work, it is much better, easier to let the work to be done by a pneumatic signal. The pressure to current converter or simply P2I converter, it is complementary is I2P converter. In principle, any of the following electronic pressure transmitters could be used, but in practice special devices are used to improve the accuracy. In principle, any of the electronic pressure transmitters could be used, but in practice special devices are used to improve the accuracy. The pressure to current converter, here the pneumatic signal pressure 3 to 15 psig, pounds per square inches gauge pressure, 0.2 to 1.0 bars input pressure is applied to the nickel span C pressure capsule. When pressure acting on the diaphragm of the capsule, the diaphragm capsule will be displaced due to the application of the pressure on the diaphragm of the capsule. So here 230 volts 50 Hz frequency signal applied to the primary winding of the power transformer. The secondary winding is connected to the 4 arm of the Western bead circuit rectifier circuit. So this regulated power supply will generate the square wave oscillator. The square wave oscillator is excited with the primary winding of the LVDT. LVDT is a linear variable differential transformer. On application of this pressure, which is to be converted into the electronic signal, is applied to the capsule that causes the core of the LVDT is moving in the windings. That causes secondary winding is induced EMF in the secondary winding of the LVDT. That is proportional to the application of the pressure on the capsule. This induced voltage, the secondary coil of the LVDT, is given to the phase type demodulator. After demodulating the signal and phase sensitivity, then with the zero adjustment, then span adjustment, then we are converting this pneumatic signal into the voltage of DC voltage output we will get from this pneumatic to electronic converter. So the VDC is directly proportional to the application of the pressure on the capsule. Because of this need of accuracy, most of P2I converters use bellows input and motion balance sensor. A typical high quality pneumatic to electronic converter is shown in the figure. The voltage output can be converted into current values with a number of standard circuits. Bellow is convert pneumatic control signal, that is 3 to 15 psi, into displacement signal. Bellow elongation sensed by LVDT. Linear variable differential transformer is used. The air signals are at low pressure levels 0.2 to 1 kg per centimeter square or 3 psi to 15 psi, and many of the pressure detectors are not sensitive or not linear enough at this pressure. A P2I converter should be at least 0.5% accurate and preferably 0.25% to preserve the integrity of the initial signal. Summary: we have discussed about need for E to P and P to E converter, principle of pressure to current converter. Quiz: the usual range of current used in the signal transmission is 0 to 10 amps, 4 to 25 amps, 4 to 25 milliamps, 4 to 20 milliamps. The usual range of current signal in process industry is D is correct, that is 4 to 20 milliamps. The frequently asked question from this topic: explain principle of pressure to current converter. Mention applications of final control element. State the need for E to P and P to E converter. Next topic is, on the completion of the period you would be able to know principle of current to pressure converter. Current to pressure converter, or simply I to P converter, it is a very important element in process control element. The current to pressure I2P conversion is a very important element in process control. The I2P converter gives us a linear way of translating the 420 milliamps of current into a 0.22 to 1 kg per centimeter square signal, that is a 3 to 15 psi signal. There are many designs for these converters, but the basic principle almost always involves the use of Plapper nozzle system. The figure 1 illustrates a simple way to construct such a converter. Current to pressure converter. So power supply pressure with 20 psi of air compression, restrictions, then it is entering into the nozzle baffle system. Here we are applying a 4 to 20 milliamps of signal. Four to 20 milliamps of current signal is applied to the electromagnetic coil. That causes the plapper is pivoted one side, the other side is magnet attached to this plapper, which is near to this magnet coil, which is energized with 4 to 20 milliamps of signal. The plapper is two-sided spring loaded. So the nozzle having a supply pressure of 20 psi of signal, pounds per square of signal. This 4 to 20 milliamps causes, suppose if you apply a 4 milliamps of signal, the plapper is away from this nozzle. So the gap, there is a gap between the nozzle to the plapper. So air escaping in this region, so less pressure getting from the output of the current to pressure converter. So we will get 3 psi. Suppose you apply 20 psi of maximum 20 milliamps of maximum current signal. So the plapper is totally attracted towards this coil. That causes the plapper tightly closes the nozzle. The air escaping from this region is reduced, so that output from the nozzle plapper system output pressure signal is maximum of 15 psi. So by varying between the 4 to 20 milliamps of signal, we will get output of pressure signal or pneumatic signal is 3 to 15 psi of signal. This is a way of working of current to pressure converter with a nozzle plapper system. Current through a coil produces a force that will tend to pull the plapper down and close up the gap. A high current produces a high pressure, so that the device is direct acting. Adjustment of the springs and perhaps the position related to the pivot to which they are attracted allows the unit to be calibrated so that 4 milliamps corresponds to 0.2 kg per centimeter square or 3 psi, and 20 milliamps corresponding to 1 kg per centimeter square or 15 psi. The figure 2 illustrates the construction of one such converters and also lists the various electronic devices with which it is commonly combined. The construction of one such converter and also list the various electric devices with which it is commonly combined. Electro-pneumatic transmitter. So the electrical combination of electro-pneumatic transmitter, air supply, restriction, output signal, vent and nozzle, input coil, pole piece, range adjustment magnet, zero adjustment and float and silicon. Here types of inputs, one is thermocouple amplifier, resistive bulb amplifier, speed detector amplifier, radiation detector amplifier, pH amplifier, AC current or power converter, magnetic flow meter amplifier, electronic control output. The electric to pneumatic transmitter with a list of typical sources as shown in the slide. A permanent magnet creates a field that passes through the steel body of transmitter and across a small air gap to the pole piece. A multi-turn plexure mounted voice coil is suspended in the air gap. The input current flows through the coil, creating an electromagnetic force that tends to repel the coil and that converts the current signal into the mechanical force. Here, the input currents flow through the coil, creating an electromagnetic force that tends to repel the coil and thus converts the current signal into the mechanical force. Since the total force obtainable is a typical voice coil motor with a small current inputs is very less. A different approach, namely the use of reaction nozzle, is employed here to convert the force into pneumatic output pressure. In this circuit, the supply air flows through the restriction and out the detector nozzle. The reaction of the air jet as it impinging against the nozzle seat supply the counterbalancing force to the voice coil motor. The nozzle back pressure is transmitted out by output pressure. In order to make transmitter insensitive to vibration, the voice coil is integrally mounted to a float submerged in a silicon coil. So in order to make transmitter insensitive to vibration, the voice coil integrally mounted to float submerged in a silicon oil. The float is sized so that it is buoyant force equals the weight of the assembly, leaving a zero net force. Zero is adjusting by changing the leaf spring force. Span is adjusted by turning the range adjusting screw to the change of the gap between the screw and the magnet, thus shunting some of the magnetic field away from the pole piece. Such converter are called motion balance type converter, a force balance type converter with signal feedback to improve the accuracy as shown in the figure. Electro-pneumatic force balance transducer to valve and actuator, feedback bellows, DC input signal given to the magnets north and south poles as in shown plus and minus signal. A zero adjustment and that causes the plopper is moving away from the nozzle, or it is attracted towards the or closing the nozzle. That causes variation of the output of the pressure. So this electropneumatic force balance transducer, which converts this electrical signal into the pneumatic output pressure. Working on the principle of force balancing. Summary: we have discussed about principle of current to pressure converter. Phase: an I2P converter takes an input signal and sends it to process, takes a current signal and sends it to PC, takes an input signal and sends to PC, takes a current signal and converts it into a pressure signal. So the D is correct answer. The frequently asked questions: explain principle of current to pressure converter. Next topic is pneumatic actuator. On completion of this topic, you would be able to know classification of actuators, principle of pneumatic actuator, advantages and disadvantages of actuators. Actuator converts the control signal into action on the control elements. Here the actuator is a device which converts the control signal into the action on the control elements. Example: if valve is to be operated, then actuator is a device that converts the control signal into physical action of opening or closing the valve. The actuator must provide an accurate output position proportional to the input signal in spite of various forces acting on the output member. They often translates a control signal into large force or torque as required to manipulate some control element. Classification of actuators. Actuators are classified as pneumatic actuator, hydraulic actuator, electropneumatic actuators, electric motor actuator. Pneumatic actuator. Pneumatic actuators may operate directly from the pneumatic output signal from a pneumatic controller, or they may be employ a separate source of compressed air. Pneumatic actuator may be operated directly from the pneumatic output signal from the pneumatic controller, or they may apply a separate source of compressed air. The principle is based on the concept of pressure as force per unit area. Pressure is a force per unit area. P is equal to F by E. The net pressure difference delta P is a P2 minus P1 is applied to a diaphragm of surface area. The net force F acting on it gives as that net force is given as delta P product of area A. Delta P is a P2 minus P1. Change in pressure. Pneumatic actuator in low pressure state. In low pressure state, pressure input, the actuator, pneumatic actuator is having pressure input inlet, the pressure acting on the diaphragm. The diaphragm a stem is attached to the diaphragm with a spring loaded. The spring S and hole for atmospheric pressure H, hole H to release the atmospheric pressure. In pneumatic actuator in low pressure state, the diaphragm position as shown in the slide. The figure shows less pressure causes less movement of the diaphragm, that causes stem position is very less. Pneumatic actuator in high pressure state, the high pressure causes the force acting, the pressure acting on the diaphragm. It is having a unit area A. The pressure causes a force acting on that. The net force causes F is equal to change in pressure. P1 is the initial pressure, P2 is the higher pressure. The change of pressure causes P2 minus P1 with the area A causes net force acting on the stem. The stem is moving downwards. The stem is connected to the wall to open or close the wall. The figure 1 shows the condition in the low signal pressure state. It consists of a spring, control shaft and diaphragm. The pressure on the opposite side of the diaphragm is maintained at atmospheric pressure by the open hole H. The pressure on the opposite side of the diaphragm is maintained at atmospheric pressure by open hole capital H. The input pressure applies a force on the diaphragm. It forces the diaphragm and connects the shaft to downside against the spring force. It forces the diaphragm and connects the shaft to downside against the spring force. The figure 2 shows the maximum control pressure and maximum travel of shaft. So here the maximum control pressure and maximum travel of the shaft. The pressure and force are linearly related. The shaft position is linearly related to applied control pressure. The delta x, which is equivalent to delta x, is the change in displacement of the shaft, which is equivalent to A by K of P. A by K is A is the area, K is the spring constant, P is the pressure, delta P, where delta x is shaft travel, delta P is the applied gauge pressure pascals, A is the diaphragm in area meter square, K is the spring constant newtons per meter square. So delta x is directly proportional to the delta P. So the change in shaft travel is directly proportional to the change in pressure applied to the pressure to the actuator. The advantages: low cost, simple design, mechanical fail-safe, suitable for a high hazardous areas. The advantages is that very low cost, no electrical signals, simple design, diaphragm and shaft and spring. So inlet pressure, so that causes it is a simple design, mechanical fail safe and suitable for high hazardous area. So there is no electrical signals, so it is a safe, suitable for safe, and it is suitable for high hazardous areas. Disadvantages: slow speed, lack of stiffness, instability, moderate thrust. Summary: in the class we have discussed about types of actuators, principle of pneumatic actuator, advantages and disadvantages of pneumatic actuator. First question: the standard input operating range of a pneumatic actuator is 32 psig to 15 psig, 20 psig to 50 psig, 5 psig to 15 psig. D. None. The standard input operating range of the pneumatic actuator is 3 psig to 15 psig. So A is the correct answer. That is pounds per square inch for gauge pressure. So that is in the range of 3 to 15 psig. The frequently asked question from this topic. 1. Classify the actuators. Explain the principle of pneumatic actuator. List the applications of pneumatic actuator. Electropneumatic actuator. Principle of electropneumatic actuators, advantages and disadvantages. When an electric control systems are employed, it is often advantageous to use a pneumatic actuator. If a suitable air supply is available, a pneumatic actuator can provide a very large power output and may be operated directly from an electric control system. This requires transducing the electrical output of the controller into an input variable for the actuator. The electropneumatic fillet as shown in the figure, it converts an electrical signal into proportional air pressure output. The input electrical signal is usually a direct current. Electropneumatic fillet, it converts the electrical signal into proportional air pressure output. The voice coil motor accepts the direct current as the input signal. Electropneumatic fillet system, voice coil motor, the signal input signal current signal is applied to this coils with a plopper that causes the plopper attractors toward the voice coil motor are refilled. So when application of this current signal causes the voice coil motor refill this plopper towards the nozzle. The rippling causes the air gap escaping from this nozzle is reduced. So the air supply is coming into the pneumatic actuator through the pilot system. The pilot system which converts this air supply into the proportional air pressure will get X output. The X output of the pneumatic signal again fed back with the bellows and given to the opposite to the torque developed on the plaffer, so that the plaffer is balanced. If we apply a 4 milliamps of signal, we'll get 3 psi of signal from this electro-pneumatic pilot. If we apply 20 milliamps of signal to this voice coil motor, the plaffer totally closes the air escaping. We'll get maximum of 15 psi of signal from this electro-pneumatic pilot system. Electro-pneumatic actuators, the voice coil motor converts the direct current into mechanical force when placed on the magnetic field. The force causes deflection of the balance beam, covers the nozzle, and results in an increase of the output pressure. The output pressure acts on the feedback bellows to cause a torque on the balance beam equal but opposite to that voice coil. The output pressure acts on the feedback bellows to cause torque on the balance beam equal but opposite to the voice coil. The output pressure therefore is proportional to the input DC current. The electro-pneumatic actuator as shown in the figure. Electro-pneumatic actuator. Here the electrical signal is applied to the voice coil motor that causes closing the flapper closing the nozzle, that causes air pressure increasing. The air pressure acting on the diaphragm of the pneumatic actuator causes the diaphragm moving towards the downwards. The change in pressure causes the change in shaft position or stem position of the actuator. So delta P change causes delta X will be change. The delta X is directly proportional to the A by K of delta P. A by K is a constant, so delta X is directly proportional to the delta P. So change in pressure, change in shaft position is directly proportional to the change in pressure. So the shaft is connected with a feedback lever and a spring mechanical system and connected to the flapper, so that the torque of the flapper is balanced by the feedback lever system. The motion of the output of the actuator is related to the balance beam through the feedback lever. The output position of the actuator is therefore proportional to the input direct current. Advantages: low cost, simple design, mechanical fail-safe, suitable for hazardous area, good control with control device. Disadvantages: slow speed, lack of stiffness, instability, moderate thrust, quality, hair requirement. Summary: we discussed about electro-pneumatic actuator, advantages and disadvantages of electro-pneumatic actuator. First question: when electric control system are employed, it is often advantageous to use a pneumatic actuator, hydraulic actuator, both A and B. D, none of the above. The answer is pneumatic actuator. Quiz: which actuator is used for high speed and large forces are required? Pneumatic actuator, electro-pneumatic actuator, hydraulic actuator. D, none. The answer is hydraulic actuator. Frequently asked question: explain the principle of electro-pneumatic actuator. List the advantages of electro-pneumatic actuator. Thank you.